Hi, my name is Anisa Palmer, and I am the cover gem of the October 2024 issue of the Bold Maven magazine.
What comes to mind when you think of gemstones?
When I think of gemstones, I think of ruby. Ruby is my birthstone. I usually wear it every day. I do not have rubies on today. I love ruby red also because of the root chakra. I'm very in tune spiritually with my chakras, and I really love the root the most. It helps you when I think of being grounded. Sometimes I struggle in that area, and so for me, it's good to know with my root chakra that I'm grounded and saying that affirmation and that mantra that I'm grounded. I'm still all is good.
How would your friends describe you?
My friends would describe me as an ambitious woman, an alpha woman, a person who cares about the community, someone who's very passionate about women's health, and they're all accurate.
What do you do?
I am the CEO of I Will Survive Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on majority helping women, breast cancer survivors, stay in their homes. I started the organization after I lost my mother, unfortunately, to breast cancer. She was 38 years young, and I was only 5 years old. I did not know that I would start the organization until after my second tour in Iraq. Whew, it was hot. We're in the desert. And I see a mirage of my dear mother out in the distance. In that moment, God was giving me my message, my purpose, and I followed suit.
Can you give some insight into the journey into starting this organization?
Yes, absolutely. This journey has been very rewarding, although very challenging. We are almost celebrating our 14-year anniversary. And I remember year, 1 to 3, when everyone tells you you might not make it past that 3-year mark as an entrepreneur. And then we finally made it. And I said, praise God. And then to see the change in health with prevention and access, that has been incredible to see. Over 90% of our clients we served who didn't have health insurance, to now see that almost flipped to maybe only 10% of the clients we now serve do not have health insurance or underinsured. And so that's a beautiful progress that we've seen. We have so much more work to do when it comes to healthcare and access. And this housing crisis doesn't help, but we definitely have a lot of work to do.
Can you walk us through the services available through I Will Survive and ways people can get involved?
Absolutely. On our website, iwillsurviveinc.org, people come in to volunteer, to serve on our board, but also to fill out an application. And in our application process, we go off of household income to make sure that we're really meeting the community where they are and really addressing the needs. So we get a lot of applications who need emergency assistance right away. So that looks like transportation to and from the healthcare facility. That looks like food on the table. That looks like I need help paying my rent, my mortgage. It looks like it's the winter months and my heat is off. It looks like I have no AC and it's scorching hot outside in the summer months. And our goal is to really ensure that our survivors are safe. They have a roof over their head. They have the nutrients they need to ensure that they can actually beat this cancer, and they can focus on the mental health and really focus on beating the cancer. So all the necessities are taken care of.
What do you consider to be some of your biggest accomplishments so far?
I believe some of my biggest accomplishments are the fact that I'm still here. In my first tour in Iraq, in the Army, I thought that I was not going to make it. I was pulled off a mission, first mission to be sent outside of the wire or outside of the base, combat mission, and the Humvee, as soon as it exited our combat base, was gone. Rolled over a IED or improvised explosive device, and civilians and military personnel are no longer here today. And that mission shook me. It took everything in me. because I told my sisters, don't watch the news, don't worry, I'm coming back home, everything's going to be fine. And I didn't know if I was at that moment. So that to me is one of my biggest accomplishments, still being here. After that, I think the gift to be a mother is incredibly amazing. I've worked with so many moms who've been impacted with breast cancer over the past 13 years. And becoming a mom now myself, being able to have that relatable moment to really have insight on what they're dealing with as mothers helps me become a better leader. And so because of that, I'm grateful.
As this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, do you have a message to the families who are looking for ways to support their family?
Don't use Dr. Google. It's the worst thing to use. There's so much negative stuff out there and scary stuff. And so the best thing is to find a support group. We have a few listed on our website, asThe.org. But to make sure that we're having those conversations at our tables, dinner tables, Sunday dinners, wherever we can about our family history. Know that there's options to get genetic testing. Many insurance companies are now covering that. But also to make sure that we are getting screened and staying on top of our health. So many of our women have found their cancers, their tumors themselves based on doing their monthly breast self-exams. And so when you do those and you're staying in tune with your doctor, your primary care provider, and you're getting those clinical exams, then you're staying ahead of a lot of people out there who are not being proactive in the prevention space. And so when we're eating the right things and we're staying fit, but none of us are perfect. So having those reminders and those friends and those colleagues and coworkers to help us along the way truly, truly makes a difference in our village.
To the 12-year-old version of yourself, can you give her a piece of advice?
I will tell her to use her voice. I didn't use my voice early. I was still grieving the loss of my mother, and I didn't know how to use my voice. And so I cried a lot. I held it in, and that 12-year-old girl suffered because of it. And so if I could go back and tell her, use your voice, it's okay, and that don't hold anything in. You have to release it, because when we hold things in, that is also a cancer, and we have to let it out.
Can you tell us about a woman in your life who inspires you?
The first woman that always comes to mind is my dear mother. She was a community advocate. She was a teacher. She was an artist, multidisciplinary artist. From singing to painting, she played instruments. She danced. One of the most memories I really love to hear when I go back home to St. Croix, Virgin Islands, is when people look at me, it's like, oh my God, you look just like your mother. And they hug me because they miss her. And it's been over 30 years since she hasn't been here. But the fact that she made that much impact in our small community, if I can be half the woman she was, then I'm thankful to God.
Final question. Is there anyone that you would like to shout out?
I would love to shout out 2 women. One is a new president of our board, Ingrid Pitts-Smith, who introduced me to another amazing human being, Praise Jackson. And for that, I am forever grateful. You can read my story at theboldmaven.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Bold Maven newsletter to gain access to their digital magazine.